General Hospital spoilers for Friday, June 13th reveal that Maxie, always amiable and willing to help, finds herself in the difficult position of trying to mediate in the increasingly strained relationship between Brooklyn and Lulu. The two best friends, who have been through some tough times together, are now facing an emotional and mental battle that makes things more complicated than ever. Their argument is not just about disagreements but also about deep feelings, unresolved hurts, dishonesty, and hidden truths. In her efforts to defuse the situation, Maxie has no idea that each piece of advice she offers will only make the situation more tense and difficult to resolve. Although Maxie has always considered herself the peacemaker in the group, she now realizes that Brooklyn and Lulu's relationship has crossed a threshold beyond which even she can control. Every attempt Maxie makes to smooth things over only pushes them deeper into conflict. Repressed feelings, accumulated misunderstandings, and hidden secrets from the past now explode, making things more tense than ever. Brooklyn and Lulu no longer argue lightly but instead start criticizing each other harshly, with harsh words and uncontrollable emotions. Maxie, filled with anxiety and confusion, realizes that she cannot reconcile them with advice or comfort. This situation is not simply a confrontation between two women, but a major struggle about honesty, forgiveness, and trust. The decisions that Brooklyn and Lulu make in the heat of the moment impact not only their relationship, but also their entire group of friends and those around them. Maxie's relationship with her two friends is now strained, as she feels caught between her loyalty to Brooklyn and her need to protect Lulu, both of whom she loves dearly. This tension is exacerbated when old issues that both Brooklyn and Lulu have tried to bury come to the surface. Secrets that have never been revealed are revealed, completely changing the way they view each other and themselves. Their relationship has been eroded over the years, but dishonesty and past hurts cannot be easily erased. This conflict is not just a struggle between two individuals, but also a reflection of the complex relationships of family, friendship, and loyalty. Maxie, who always believed that she could help people find harmony, is now faced with a situation that she cannot easily resolve. Her efforts to help her friends now not only fail to reconcile but also leave her facing feelings of guilt for not being able to prevent this conflict. She feels that no matter what she does, things will never be the same again. Feelings of helplessness and pain begin to take over Maxie's mind as she watches her friends grow more distant and hurt each other. This not only puts a great strain on Maxie's relationship with her two close friends, but also comes as a huge shock to everyone who follows this story. Every move Maxie makes, every decision she makes, seems to have inevitable consequences, and the story between Brooklyn and Lulu becomes more than just a fight, it becomes a tense psychological battle, with costs they can't foresee. Ultimately, this conflict exceeds Maxie's ability to reconcile and puts her in a situation of no return, where things can go in directions she can't control. The story of the tension between Brooklyn and Lulu is not only a damaged relationship, but also reflects larger societal issues about honesty, trust, and forgiveness. Maxie's efforts to make peace in a world filled with conflict and wrongs now prove that sometimes, reconciliation is not always possible, and not all struggles can end in peace. The psychological battle between Brooklyn and Lulu is not simply a conflict between two friends, but a great test of the values they once held dear, and of decisions that Maxie, despite her best efforts, could not prevent. This story continues to be a great challenge for Maxie, who has always wanted to maintain peace but now has to face the truth that things are not always easy to resolve. Things are getting worse, and no one can predict the consequences of this conflict, especially when her friends are in worse shape. The story of Brooklyn and Lulu's strained relationship is not only a lesson in forgiveness, but also a reminder of the limits of what one can endure in friendship and love. Anna, one of the key characters on General Hospital, has always been a model of resilience, intelligence, and strength. However, she is now at a major turning point as she reflects on her past, filled with decisions and actions that have led her to her current tense situation. Memories of her past in WSB are coming back to haunt her, as the decisions she made during her tenure are now starting to have unpredictable consequences. Anna is not only someone who has been immersed in a world of intrigue, threats, and hidden battles, but also someone who has faced betrayals and dark truths of her own. The secrets she tried to keep hidden, the actions she thought no one knew about, are now exposed. Anna's past, especially in WSB, is not only a series of victories but also risky decisions that she cannot avoid the consequences of. Anna has faced extreme dangers and harsh situations for a long time, but when she reflects on her past, she realizes that one of her biggest mistakes was the choices she made regarding Emma, her daughter. Anna has always tried to protect Emma from danger, but she has inadvertently put her daughter in a new dangerous situation. Although Anna's intentions were always out of love and protection, she realizes that her past actions, related to her work in WSB, may now be harmful to Emma. Her past relationships, enemies, and poor decisions have created a situation she can no longer control. Emma, a young girl, is now a target for the same dangerous people Anna has faced. While Anna can protect Emma to the extent she can, she realizes that she has exposed her daughter to a world she cannot completely protect. Regret begins to creep into Anna's mind as she realizes that she has created a life filled with danger for Emma, not because she doesn't love her daughter, but because she failed to foresee the complexities of the decisions she has made. Every step in Anna's past, every choice she thought was right at the time, now comes back to haunt her, forcing her to face the painful reality that her daughter is living in a world she cannot completely protect. One of the new shocks Anna faces is the realization that WSB is not just a job, but a part of her past that she can't erase. Everything she did in those years now seems to be coming back and threatening to take away what she holds most dear, including Emma. The old enemies within WSB, the secret wars Anna fought, could now cost her daughter, and Anna, as a mother, feels that things have gone too far, and there is nothing she can do to protect Emma from these dangers. Anna's reflections on the past are not only about the events at work, but also about the personal relationships she sacrificed to complete the mission. She realizes that the things she did not only affected herself, but also the people she loved. Regret becomes a big part of Anna's mind when she cannot change what happened. She risked putting Emma in danger for the sake of her job, and now, facing the inevitable consequences, Anna feels like she has lost control over her daughter's life. Anna's story is now not just about strength or resilience, but also about regret and irreversible mistakes. The shock Anna faces when she realizes that she has put Emma in danger will be the biggest challenge she has ever faced. Not only is it a battle with external enemies, but it is also a psychological battle with herself, as she confronts the guilt and regret of the choices she made in the past. On General Hospital, Anna's story is not only a fight to protect her daughter, but also a journey of self-forgiveness, a struggle not only against external dangers but also against the pain she has created. Everything now seems to be beyond Anna's control, and her actions in the past are threatening everything she has built. The realization of her mistakes will be the impetus for Anna to change her approach, but will she be able to protect Emma when new dangers continue to appear? Anna's story now becomes a major test of resilience, love, and the ability to face the painful consequences of past decisions. Tracy, one of the most powerful and scheming figures on General Hospital, is entering a tense confrontation with Alexis. This confrontation is not simply a debate or a clash of opinions, but a battle of calculations and risky strategies. Tracy, with her decisive nature and not afraid to challenge anyone, cannot sit still as she sees new changes taking shape in Alexis' life. The calculations that Alexis makes, although seemingly reasonable in her eyes, are pushing the situation further, and Tracy cannot help but react as Alexis' decisions begin to create a series of problems that are beyond her control. One of the important changes in this confrontation is that Alexis makes decisions that Tracy considers to be ill-considered, especially when these decisions involve Lucas and Marco. Tracy has always been protective of her family and has never hesitated to stand up for their interests. When Alexis begins to interfere in matters involving Lucas and Marco, important members of the Quartermain family, Tracy cannot help but feel threatened. She knows that Alexis, with her intelligence and sharp calculation, can make big changes in the Quartermain family, and Tracy will never let this go unanswered. Alexis, although a talented lawyer and often a brilliant strategist, is now facing a major challenge from Tracy. Alexis' decisions regarding Lucas and Marco are not only controversial, but they also put the Quartermain family on a new path. Tracy realizes that if she does not act immediately, the changes Alexis is making could seriously affect the lives of her loved ones. She cannot let Alexis's calculations harm her family, and so Tracy begins to develop a plan to deal with Alexis. While Tracy prepares to confront her, Alexis does not realize the danger she is creating for herself. She believes that her decisions are right and will bring good results for everyone, but these calculations are getting her deeper into a tense situation. Tracy, with her strong nature and sharp vision, begins to create a big shock when she imposes her decisions on Alexis. Tracy's threats become stronger and more obvious, and this makes Alexis feel like she is losing control. The changes that Alexis thought were beneficial are now becoming dangerous, and Tracy seems to have control of the situation. With Tracy's new pressures, Alexis has no choice but to face the fact that she is in an inevitable power struggle. This story becomes a tense battle of wits, as Tracy uses every trick and tactic to protect her family, while Alexis, despite always being confident in her calculating abilities, has to face the constant changes from those around her. The threat that Tracy brings to Alexis is not only about power in the Quartermaine family but also about control of relationships that Alexis never thought of. This makes the story more and more attractive and dramatic. Both Alexis and Tracy have their own calculations, but when confronting each other, things become unpredictable. Tracy's pressure, the threats she causes to Alexis, and the troubles Alexis causes to Lucas and Marco are making every situation more and more tense. Alexis' decisions, though considered reasonable in her eyes, are slowly pushing her into a war she cannot control, as Tracy begins to take drastic actions to protect her family. This story is not only a struggle between two strong women, but also a story about power, family, and control. Every step Alexis and Tracy take could lead to a new shock, and their decisions will not only affect themselves but also their loved ones in the family. This situation is gradually developing into one of the most tense battles in General Hospital, when the change and imposition of one person can completely turn everything upside down. The confrontation between Chase and Dante on General Hospital is escalating alarmingly, as both have deep reasons to protect the secrets surrounding Gio, who has become a character full of contradictions and troubles. This tension is not just a battle of wits, but a reflection of past events that neither Chase nor Dante fully understand. Dark secrets surrounding Joe's identity are coming to light, and the battle is not just about solving the truth about him, but also about control, power, and protecting his family. Chase, who has always considered Gio a brother and wanted to protect him from the consequences of his past, is faced with a painful truth: these secrets cannot remain hidden forever. Although Joe's past actions are not entirely clear and may cause pain to everyone in the family, Chase has always felt the need to protect him. He does not want to see Gio face serious consequences for mistakes he cannot control. Chase believes that if this is left to unfold, things will only get worse, not only for Gio but for the Quartermaine family. Dante, however, has a completely different perspective. As someone who has had a long-standing relationship with Brooklyn and her family, Dante feels that the truth about Gio, no matter how painful, must be revealed. He believes that only when all the secrets about Gio are exposed can the family relationships be resolved properly and clearly. Dante cannot accept hiding the truth, especially when it could affect the lives of Brooklyn and other family members. This hiding, according to Dante, will only lead to worse consequences in the future, and he is willing to confront Chase, even though he knows this will cause deep pain for both of them. The relationship between Chase and Dante is now not just a difference in approach to problems, but also a battle of loyalty, protection of family, and justice. The decisions they are making not only affect themselves but also those around them, especially loved ones like Brooklyn. Both, despite their different ideals, feel that they are doing the right thing, and that exposing the truth about Gio is necessary. However, this has put them into a situation that cannot be easily resolved. This is not simply a confrontation between two General Hospital characters but a test of the core values of the family. The tense situations, uncontrollable emotions, and conflicting family relationships are making things more complicated. The relationship between Chase and Dante now goes beyond simple legal theories or relationships. It becomes a family power struggle, where every decision affects not only them but all the loved ones they are protecting. The emergence of Gio and the secrets surrounding him are making the story more complicated than ever. As Chase and Dante each try to protect their families in their own way, things are not only about making the right or wrong decisions but also about the breakdown of long-standing relationships. The more they try to protect secrets, the more they hurt each other, and this situation seems to push things further. The confrontation between Chase and Dante has forced all the characters involved to reevaluate their relationships with Gio, as well as honesty and trust in the family. Loved ones are now faced with not only difficult decisions but also choices that will change the course of their lives. Shocks keep coming, making the situation more tense and unpredictable than ever. With every decision Chase and Dante make, the story of the Quartermaine family and the truth about Gio will continue to develop in a direction no one could have predicted. These situations will not only shed light on secrets from the past but also create important turning points for the characters. Gio, Chase and Dante's story on General Hospital is not just a battle for power, but also a battle for honesty, protecting their families and the values they hold dear. Every move they make will now have profound effects not only on their family relationships but on everyone involved with them. As new changes come to light, this story becomes one of the most complex and compelling storylines on General Hospital, where every decision, big or small, can lead to unforeseen consequences. The tension between Chase and Dante, coupled with the emergence of Gio and the secrets surrounding him, creates an inevitable struggle that makes things even crazier than ever. The tension on General Hospital is escalating as Marco and Lucas discover a huge secret that Christina has been trying to keep hidden for so long. This is not just a personal situation, but a profound change in family relationships, creating cracks that no one could have predicted. As the two friends begin to dig up the truth about Christina, everything in the Corinthos household and around Port Charles Hospital begins to change. The relationship between Marco and Lucas, already complicated, is strained even more as they face a truth that cannot be hidden. Christina's secret, which had been kept hidden for so long, gradually comes to light, causing turmoil not only in her relationship with Lucas but also in the relationships within the family. Marco and Lucas are shocked to learn that Christina's secret is not simply a personal matter but a story that affects the entire Corinthos family. This not only causes confusion but also makes them rethink the way they have viewed Christina, whom they have always trusted and loved. When the truth about Christina is revealed, a chain reaction begins to take place within the family. Layers of peace within the Corinthos family begin to be torn apart, and the trust between the members begins to waver. Lucas, who has always tried to protect the people he loves, is now faced with a truth that he cannot ignore. His relationship with Christina, once built on love and commitment, will never be the same again. Hurt feelings, betrayal, and hidden secrets are creating an irreparable rift within the family. Marco, who has always stood by his family and been Lucas's best friend, must now grapple with his own emotions as he comes to terms with Christina's secret. Although Marco has always valued family and loyalty, the truth about Christina makes him question the values he has always believed in. Frustration and betrayal are creeping into Marco's mind, and he doesn't know what to do to help Lucas in this situation. The situation becomes even more complicated when the relationships within the Corinthos family begin to be tested. It's not just a confrontation between Lucas and Christina, but a battle between loyalty and truth, between love and betrayal. People around them begin to have different opinions on how to deal with this situation. The reactions from family members, from Sonny to Carly, and even from other friends in Port Charles, show that Christina's secret is not just an internal issue, but a situation that affects the entire community. The decisions Lucas and Christina make next will no longer be about them alone, but will involve everyone they love and respect. It is worth noting that, while everything is exploding around them, Christina must face the painful truth that every secret she has kept is now exposed, and there is no way back. She is forced to face the disappointment and anger of her family. The reaction from Lucas, from Marco, and from the rest of the family will be the biggest challenge Christina has ever faced. She will have to choose between protecting her family and facing the truth, or continuing to hide and causing bigger problems in the future. Every decision she makes will have unforeseen consequences. The story of Christina, Marco, and Lucas is not just about a secret being exposed, but also a lesson in forgiveness, loyalty, and betrayal within a family. As things reach a tense climax, this story will not only affect the characters involved but also shake the values that the Corinthos family has built. The decisions that follow will change the entire family dynamic, and long-standing relationships will be threatened. As secrets are revealed, not only the family but the entire General Hospital community will have to face the consequences of this truth. The story becomes increasingly dramatic as the tension builds for the main characters, as they face not only betrayal but also inevitable changes in family relationships. These explosive events, from Lucas to Marco, from Christina to others, not only make the story more compelling but also open a new chapter in their lives. Can the Corinthos family overcome this challenge, or will the secrets mark the end of a phase in their lives?